Hey, good morning. Happy Friday, guys. Today is October 30th. Um, and in today's video, I just wanted to talk about a news article that I found here on JP Morgan. And it has to do with blockchain, okay? I know I've been talking about a lot of different stuff with cryptos lately, but when you look at the overall stock markets, if you watch the previous videos that I've shot on the Dow Jones, you understand that right now is a bad time to get into stocks. So you have to look at other alternatives, other places where you can make money, gold, silver. Uh, you're probably not going to make a whole lot of money there, but you can hedge against a a downtrend market like the Dow Jones. And then with blockchain, of course, and cryptos, you can definitely make money there because there's a lot of volatility. So I'm just covering different aspects of markets and investments in which you still have some opportunity to make some return for yourself. So that's why we focus on blockchain and cryptos a lot, is because, well, that's where the money's going, that's where the future's going. So that's what I'm going to talk about. Okay, so I found this article here, and they're talking about J.P. Morgan creates a new unit for blockchain projects, and they say the technology is close to making money. Which, yeah, I mean, they're probably a little bit late to the party, I would say. Um, not as not as late as some others, but they're still somewhat late to the party. If you're an early adopter and you're somebody who's been investing in this since like 2016, 2017, you might remember that Jamie Dimon, who is the CEO or chairman of J.P. Morgan, he kept bashing. He was bashing Bitcoin and cryptos for a long, long time, and he kept saying that it's basically like what Warren Buffett was saying: rat poison squared. Don't touch it with a 10-foot pole. And now look what they're doing. They totally changed their tone when it comes to how they look at cryptos and blockchain as a whole. And now you've got them creating their own blockchain unit within their own organization. Now, what they're doing is they're talking about this JP Morgan coin. So JP Morgan Chase said its digital currency JPM coin is being used commercially for the first time this week by a large technology client to send payments around the world. Um, if you guys know who that is, leave a comment in the comment section telling us who it is, because I haven't heard who that is. Um, Now that development, along with other behind the scenes movements, have persuaded J.P. Morgan to create a new business to house its blockchain and digital currency efforts called Onyx. And this is the bank's global head of wholesale payments that's saying this here. His name's Takis Georgia. I can't even pronounce his last name here, guys. I'm not even going to try because I don't want to butcher his name. Um, but he's basically the bank's global head of wholesale payments. Uh, the unit has more than 100 dedicated staffers that they're looking to bring on board here with the the blockchain unit. And you may have heard me talk about this in the past too, guys. Like, if this is why you want to get familiar with blockchain and how it works, for instance, like Etherscan, where you're facilitating your own transactions with digital assets. If you don't understand how to do all that stuff on, say, like the Ethereum blockchain for the ERC20 tokens, you're already ahead of the curve there, and you may have an opportunity here later on down the road to make a transition from where you're at right now, as far as a job, into something completely new. Uh, case in point, you got J.P. Morgan here, who's creating a blockchain unit within their organization. What do you think these people are going to have to learn how to do? They're going to have to learn how to facilitate transactions and make transactions on blockchains. They got to know how the private keys work. So, if you already understand all that stuff, the transition's not going to be that hard for you, especially if you wanted to go apply for positions, in finance, and you got a financial background. If you've already got this kind of technology and then possess the knowledge for this technology, you're not gonna have too hard of a time transitioning, I wouldn't think. Um, but we'll go ahead and keep reading here. After years of hype with little to show for it, blockchain technology is on the cusp of a breakthrough. making money in actual business applications. At JP Morgan Chase, the firm's digital JPM coin is being used commercially for the first time. We already covered that. That development, along with the other behind the scenes moves, I already read that piece too because that was summarized for you. And basically, what they're saying is we are launching Onyx because we believe we are shifting to a period of commercialization of those technologies, moving from research and development to something that can become a real business. As when you got a bank like JP Morgan saying that, and I've been telling you this for a while now, that we were going into this transition, the next bull run is going to take place here very soon with Bitcoin. Now this is just another confirmation, basically, as to what I've been saying all along. And you've got it coming from J.P. Morgan here. Now, the article continues. They say initially hyped as a technology that would entire industries, upend entire industries from finance to manufacturing and agriculture. Blockchain has attracted billions of dollars of investment, but little in the way of tangible results yet. Venture capital funding for blockchain startups dropped 35% to 2.79 billion last year, according to CB Insights. JP Morgan's move could provide a boost to the broader blockchain and cryptocurrencies industry, whose proponents believe that mainstream adoption is nearing. Digital currencies popped last week after PayPal, again another big company here, announced that users could soon buy, hold, and sell crypto directly from their accounts. So guys, it's happening. This bull run that I've been talking about for a while, and then the transition into the new system, going into mainstream adoption, it's happening right now. You got JP Morgan doing this, you have PayPal doing their thing. Who's next? Right? And you're starting to see the domino effect. It's just one right after another is going to start jumping on board or start releasing out their technologies and the research and development projects they've been working on. And we're moving into mainstream adoption here. So it's pretty cool stuff. It's very exciting. With that being said, I'm going to switch over here to the charts. This is TradingView, guys. This is a platform that I use for looking at charts, understanding kind of where investments are, what opportunities might be out there. So go check it out. I'll leave a link in the description below for you on TradingView. You can set up your own account. It's 100% free. But I've been using this for quite a while now, and if you've been following me, you might see me from time to time jump in here and do some technical analysis. Like on my last video, I was doing technical analysis on the Dow Jones. I was kind of showing you where I think we're headed with the Dow Jones. Now, what I've got here is an investment that I'm looking at getting into here very shortly myself, but I'm looking for an entry. And so I've been waiting for about a week now for the price on this. That's XRP. You might be familiar with it. It's called Ripple. It's a digital asset that has partnered with hundreds, if not a couple hundred banks internationally and globally. So they've been testing their cross-border payment systems with a lot of these banks, and these banks have been partnering with them. It's got a lot of potential as a centralized type network when it comes to blockchain. I'm not too big on centralized as far as like long-term investments when it comes to blockchain projects. I mean, will they work? Yeah, they'll work, but I didn't get into blockchain and cryptos so that I could get into something that was centralized. Okay, so I know there's a lot of people that really don't like XRP because of that, but I'm looking past that because, guys, it doesn't really matter what I'm invested in, if it's soybeans, forks, knives, whatever. Okay, if you're getting a good return on an asset and you see an opportunity to get in on it, you don't have to hold it and buy and hold it long term. You can just make a what they call a swing trade, where you're going to be in the investment for maybe like a couple weeks to a month and then you get out, right? So that's kind of what I'm planning on doing here with XRP. But I just wanted to show you guys where we're at right now on the daily. You can see right now, if we back out to the weekly, I had a downtrend here and then the uptrend, right, on the weekly. So we had a triangle that is starting to form here, and that's a pretty good pattern on charts. Okay, it's really common. So you'll see triangles like this. Well, we were getting squeezed inside this triangle, and I was waiting for the price to um, finish above the trend line. Okay, because if we did, we were going to pop, and we really didn't have a whole lot of resistance from where we were until let me clone this real quick because I'm going to see where the resistance is at after. If we would have went up and broke through this trend line, our next resistance level wouldn't have been until way up here. Really, we wouldn't have resistance until like 29 cents. Okay, so all this room right in here would have been a void. So if we broke through and went upwards on XRP, like we wouldn't have anywhere to really stop and get stopped out as far as resistance until we hit about 29-30 cents. And the potential for that is still there. But what we do instead, we broke downward support on the daily. That's a strong signal that we are going to see more downward movement. And right now what I'm looking for is an entry. So, we broke through downward support on the weekly downtrend. If you were expecting the price to go up on XRP, which a lot of people were, um, it could still go that way. It could still bounce off of this support here, and then we could break higher. But since we broke through support, this support line here now is acting as resistance. So if it bounces back up, it's going to have to punch through that resistance. It's going to have to punch through this resistance here, where we had multiple pivot points. And when I'm talking about pivot points, we'll bring it on back further. Pivot point here. Let me go ahead and circle that so you can see what I'm talking about. We've got a pivot point there, a pivot point here, and so we've got two pivot points, right? That would be where I would consider like your next kind of level of possible resistance is right in here. So we gotta basically pass through this resistance down here. You can see that I picked that as a pivot point as well because you're close enough. We are close enough down here. Well, actually, right about here. I'll call that a pivot point because we came up, then we came down, and then what we do, we bounce back up. So there's pivot point right there too. But we gotta break that level of resistance. Then we gotta break this down, this uptrend that's going up. We gotta break back through that. Both of those are basically acting as ceilings right now on XRP, pushing the price further down. Because we broke through this support here, the next level I'm looking at is around 22 cents. Okay, and I actually kind of hope it hits that, because once it hits that, I think you're going to see an exhaustion of sellers. And what I'm looking for is huge candle bars, more downward pressure and downward selling to consolidate on XRP. And you can see we hit this support down here, right here at this pivot point, okay, and then bounce back up. So that's why I'm calling that a level of support, and that's what I'm looking for as far as an entry. Will we get there? I don't really know, and I'm just looking at the daily chart right now. So I'm just going to let this play out, because if you look at the 4-hour chart, you got a lot of pressure, a lot of selling volume coming in. We got sell signals on the VWAP on the 4-hour. We're in oversold right now on the 4-hour, so this could rebound and we could go back up from here on the 4-hour. If we go back to the daily, one thing you'll notice is that we have a bottom tail here, so big wick on the bottom after quite a bit of selling. That's normally a good sign, but it's not a green candle bar, and that's one thing I look for when it's when you're looking for reversal patterns. I look for that green candle bar with a big wick, bottom tail. This one's got the bottom tail, but it's not a green candle bar. So and I don't think there's really enough large candle bars and volume when it comes to sellers that have played out here. So I'm waiting for another big drop and then more confirmation of a reversal pattern on, say, like a bottom tail like this with a green candle bar. Then I'll think about jumping in. But right now, we got a sell signal on the VWAP on the daily as well. And so I just want to give it a little bit of room to run here on XRP. And then I'm looking for 22 cents as an entry point, maybe a little bit above that. And then from there, I think we're going to head back up. So I wanted to point out XRP and just let you know that that is something I'm looking at investing in right now. There's a couple others that are on my list, but this one was really on my radar because if you want to get a good bang for your dollar on the price move up on this one, I think you're gonna get a much better move on this than you will say on some of these other tokens, because this guy's XRP Ripple is one of the it's one of the top 3 cryptos as far as volume. So there's a lot of liquidity in it, and you get a lot of volatility, and you get these big price swings when it comes to the price moving around. I mean, if we go back here and look, this was back in July. You could have bought in at 19 cents at the beginning of this run up, and you could have got out somewhere around 31 cents from 19 cents. Okay, so it was a big move. You could have made a ton of money on that move, and from then on, we dropped and we just kind of been going sideways, and we're getting squeezed into this triangle, and we pop downwards out of this triangle. So I'm expecting at least a good amount of consolidation back down to 22 cents here before we bounce back up, and then we have to test these levels of resistance. Okay, first one being 23, almost 24 cents. Then you've got the upward trend on the weekly at 24 cents, somewhere around that range. And then you'll have one right here at about 24.8. So there's a lot of resistance this thing's going to have to break. But if we can get through that, the next move is not going to be till like 30 cents. So some good opportunities there. And with that said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up, guys. If you like what you're hearing, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button. It helps with the algorithm in YouTube. And I'm going to be shooting other videos like this in the future. I think what I'll do is cover one article, all right, of news when it comes to investing, to kind of give you an idea of fundamentals on, say, maybe either like a market or an asset, and then I'll follow up with like some assets that I'm looking at either on stocks or cryptos, and we'll go in on the charts like this, and I'll show you some of the stuff that you can look at when it comes to long-term trades and short-term trades. So just kind of switch it up a little bit, add a little bit more content into this, make it a little bit more interesting for you. But with that said, you guys have a great weekend, and I will talk to you later.